Okay, so we have discussed most of the important topics that is related to account structure, right? So I have told, so the moment you see the accounting structure, or we can call it as a to understand the financial framework of any company, it may be, or any organization, you should see the account structure. Here, even in Dynamics, also we have that account structure which we will configure in the ledger setup under general ledger. I'll show you the like navigation, how to check the accounting structure. But in general, accounting structure consists of chart of accounts, main accounts, and the financial dimensions. So you understood what you mean by the chart of accounts, right? I have explained. It contains the list of the main accounts that you have created, and the main accounts are created based on the requirement of the client. And the financial dimensions, even though I have explained it earlier, so I'll be taking in detail explanation about the financial dimensions. These are nothing but the segments. So by looking at this, it will be easy for you to understand, yes, this organization using these type of chart of accounts, or this main accounts, and these segments. These financial dimensions are nothing but it's called as a segments, right? So by looking at these segments, it will be easy for you to understand. So under the GL structure, uh, in general, if you have explained under GL structure, it will the major topics will be uh, legal entity creation, and then calendars, currencies. After configuring these three, then we will be configuring the main accounts and financial dimensions, chart of accounts. Once you configure these three, we will have to link uh, chart of accounts, main accounts, and financial dimensions to the accounting structure. So unless you don't link these three to the account structure, you will not be able to post any transactions. So this is the main, this is important, right? Okay, as per the client requirement, you have created this one and all the rest of the two. But if you want to post any transaction, let's say you want to post any transactions related to rent. Normal journal entry will be, so this is a normal journal entry, right? You will just write rent account data to cash or bank account, and below that you will give a narration. Or you can just write in a short form as per the requirement. So this is a general practice. But uh, how do you think this rent account will be linked to? 1 minute, guys. Yeah, but in D365, you should link, right? So you have created one main account for the rent, and one main account for the cash, or one main account for the bank. Along with that, you have also created segments, like for Chennai branch and for finance team. Like this, you have created the financial segments. But how do you think dynamic software will understand that this, the moment you post this transaction, all the details that is related to finance team, Chennai team, or Chennai branch, all these things should be interlinked. That is where you will configure all these three, like chart of accounts, main accounts, and for which main account. For example, the moment you post, you select the rent account. By default, the financial dimension should it should show as a either finance team or Chennai. If there are 3 4 teams, it if you select rent as a main account while posting the journal entry, it will show all the 3 teams. If there are finance, sales and marketing and HR, it will show all 3. You should select which is required. And if you have multiple branches like Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, even these segments also it will show. I'll show you how does it looks while posting the journal entry. But before that, keep this in mind. Accounting structure consists of chart of accounts, main accounts and financial dimensions, and along with that we will be giving currencies as well. That is also important. While configuring, I will show you, but these 3 are important. Okay, so now let me just let me explain you about financial dimensions. Yeah, so these financial dimensions are also called as the segments. See, uh, if you don't classify the transaction, or if you don't give the detailed information of this particular journal entry, it will be difficult for you to understand, right? If you by after a certain point of time, the moment you see any this entry, you will not be able to understand. The reason being, you are not going to give this narration while posting the entry. So in order to make it easy to read the report or to pull the report based on the specific branch or specific team, you should be able to have certain segments. So you can, here we'll call those segments as a financial dimensions. So this will help you to uh, pull proper reports based on the, for example, if any stakeholders are asking for Chennai branch report, so for that particular Chennai branch, if you don't have the this segment, it will be difficult. How do you identify the transactions? You cannot go through each and every transactions and find which is related to Chennai branch. Practically, it is not possible. For that purpose, in order to make easy to read the reports or to pull the transactions related to particular segment, we have this option to create financial dimensions here. So it will help you to avoid this narration in general, whatever the practice that we are going to give, right? That's the reason. For example, let's assume that Britannia company, whatever we are having, right? Let's say we have got multiple departments. In general, any organization will be having uh, under departments. So these are common, right? Under let me reduce the font size. Okay, no, let it be. And let us create few branches as well. Along with that, we'll give let's say any other classification, like we have given departments, again branches. Let's give locations. Okay, so let's assume that our organization which we're doing, right? So they have got multiple departments, branches, and these locations. So while posting the transaction, right? So unless you don't create these kind of segments, it it is not possible for you to pull the reports. So let us try to create certain these financial dimensions in the D365, and let us see how does it looks. Okay, before creating the financial dimensions, let me just take you to the navigation and with the existing company which is USMF. So as per the business requirement, we can create n number of such financial dimensions as long as to make the transaction easier while posting, or as per if there is some certain requirement, you can post and you can create n number of financial dimensions. So if you observe the navigation under general ledger, select under chart of accounts, again under dimensions, select financial dimensions. See, if you see here, there these financial dimensions they have already created for the USMF, like agreement, bank account, again under branch. This one I have created Britannia branches and Britannia departments, like business unit, campaign. So this is a financial dimension, but okay, one minute. Yeah, this is a financial dimension. Let us say again under branch, if there are multiple branches, so those we will if you want to add those branches. In the previous example, if you remember, there are three branches. So this branch, department, and locations, these are called as a financial dimensions. But again, each and every financial dimensions, there are certain values. That means under the each and every segment, there are certain values that we have given, right? Those values we will call it as a dimension values. So under branches, right? Let us see what they have given for that as a dimensional values. See, this one I have created as in Hyderabad. So while under branch, Hyderabad is located. Let us see if there are any other. Let us pick one business unit and let's see the dimension values what they have created. Yeah. So under this one, they have given financial dimensions as like a home, auto. That means they have got these kind of business or like segments we can call, or segment values they have given here. See, I mean, under a business unit, they have got a lot of such operation, like different businesses, what they're doing. Let us see under campaign what they have given. See, again under campaign, I think this is something related to marketing related. So excuse me. So again, under campaign, if you see, they have created semi-annual sale, Twitter promote sale, catalog drop. So like this, you can create n number of subcategories, or you can call it as a values. Here we'll call it as a financial dimensions, and again under that financial dimension values. Let us see one more again under cost center what they have given. See, again under cost center they have created multiple values: trade shows, marketing campaign, service operations. So if you create like this n number of values, right, it will be easy for you to post any transactions, or for example, if you are spending certain amount, let's say you have given some 1,000 rupees or something related to specific trade shows department itself. There are only two employees in the trade shows, so it is not possible for you to if you don't create such value while posting the entry, right, you have given 1,000 rupees to these trade shows. So how are you going to show them? Under description you cannot write, right? Which is not possible. That's the reason while posting the transaction, I'll also show you how does it looks while posting the transaction. For example, let us go to general ledger. See the navigation under general entries. We'll have if you want to post any journal entry, just click on general journals. In the trial version, sometimes this system will be a bit slow, but in the you can just while practicing you might have experienced this issue. Let me try to open in the online version. How does it looks? I got one more trial version.
No, Srinivas.
Okay, am I audible now?
Yes.
So till where you heard my voice, or did you lost my connection, or
No, you have opened this different this one, right?
The trial version.
Trial version, yeah.
Okay, so I was trying to create the financial dimensions under this one journal entries. Okay, anyhow, it has opened. So let me try to create a journal entry here. So this is how you have to post the journal entry. So we'll be discussing what all fields and what is importance of each and every field while discussing the general journal topics. Okay, I think in the other online version, it is bit fast. Let me try to use this one only. See, if you want to post any journal entry, just click on new, and here you have to select general journal for the time being. I mean, you can create a number of journals. For the timing, let me just select the general journal. I'll explain you how to create all these things and click on lines. Yeah. So these are the default fields which are shown while you once you click on the new. Let me remove this one. Let me just click on the new. Okay. So this is a date column and the general voucher. So this voucher number, if you remember, while creating the number sequence, right? In the general ledger parameters also, I have shown you how to check whatever the number sequence that you have created. These general ledgers, these vouchers by default for each and every transaction. Once you generate the number sequences, and this will get generated. If you want to change, I have also told you how to change this one. We just need to go to the general ledger parameters, or if it is allowing here, you can just click on the right click and you will get an option to see the view details. For any general ledger, you have that option to customize it, and this is a company. And since we are posting under USMF, we will select the company as a USMF here. And the ledger type, I'll explain you this later. What is the meaning of each and every field here, like the ledger, customer, and all. For the timing, we just see it as a ledger, and we'll have to select the account, right? Yeah. If I have, what was the entry that we have posted here? We thought to take rent account paid to finance team or Chennai branch, right? And I have also told you. Okay, let me write this one here. Excuse me. So journal entry in D365 contains, see if you see here, main account, business unit, and department. So these are the three default values it will show. But if you want to add more values to that, So now you understand what is the string. How does journal entry in D365 will be shown? It should contain the main account and the financial dimensions and the financial dimension values, if any. So if you see here, okay, instead of the rent account, let us, for example, let us assume that you are purchasing any products to the from the vendor, right? So let me select
Srinivas
if
screen
there are
is
any
very,
vendors which have.
it's not moving.
Okay, which screen you were able to see?
The Word file.
Is it? I'll try to reshare this screen once again. Okay, now confirm me which screen you were able to see.
Yeah, now we can see the D365.
Okay. See, while posting I was just explaining, while posting the journal entry, let us assume that we are purchasing certain materials from one vendor. So we'll see how does it looks here. I'll try to select any one account here. Okay, let me try to select it as any vendor and we'll see if I can post any transaction. Okay, so let's assume that we'll try to purchase any. These are the list of the vendors. So this how to create this list of the vendors that we'll be discussing in accounts payable module. So these are the vendors which are available under the USMF. For example, Contoso Asia is one of our vendor. You want to purchase material from this vendor. So we should select the vendor as a account one. So description is not required. Let's say we are paying some 1,000 rupees. Offset account, let it be here. Yeah. So the moment you select, actually here also, wait 1 minute. Yeah, if you see here under the offset account, it is asking us to select for which account this transaction should be linked. That means if you have certain, let's say here we don't have any such. For example, let me try to select bank account as a USD. That means for this particular vendor, right, we have to pay $1,000. For that we have selected bank account as a USD. Again, for this vendor, uh, if the products what we are going to purchase, if it is related to home, since they have got multiple branches like 001, they have got only one branch. So let me select this one as a home. And if they have, see, if you see here again under department, they have got a lot of departments like sales and marketing, operations, finance, IT, etc. For the timing, let me just select it as an IT department. See, now if I post this journal entry, the journal entry will be posted with the combination of one main account and department. Excuse. Sorry guys. So here, while posting the journal entry, the combination of main account, the business unit and departments. Let us assume if you have got again under department sub-departments, you can create all these combinations under the accounting structure. 1 minute guys. So the combination of main account and the financial dimension and financial dimension values. All this configuration we have to give under the accounting structure. That topic we are going to discuss in the next class. So you understood, right? How does it looks and how does it helps to these financial dimensions. So if you want to pull the report this 25, right? Yeah. While stakeholders want to see the expenses related to only IT department, then you if you pull IT department report, the transactions whatever you have posted, and while posting whatever your end users have linked this 0 to 5 in the journal entries, all those transactions will be visible. If you don't have this option, then it will be very difficult for you to see the transactions. That is what I have told you. What is the importance of the financial dimensions? Let me try to show you in the financial dimensions also. And one more topic which I want to explain is, yeah. So you understood that we can create a number of financial dimensions, but let us assume you have got 5 legal. If you want to create 5 dimensions for each and every legal entity, yes, you have that option. That we will call it as a legal entity backed financial dimensions.
Srinivas, can you come back? We lost you.
Is it so till where you are able to listen?
This only like financial dimensions. You were saying, right? Legal entities.
Huh.
Yeah, there only.
So I was just explaining. Let us assume that you have got multiple legal entities. Let's say you have 5 legal entities. If you want to create financial dimensions for each and every legal entity specific, you can do that. Or else if you want to use the same legal entities, sorry, same financial dimensions for all the legal entities which are commonly used, you can use them. So there are two types of such you can financial dimensions you can create. So if you have, we have two options to create either we can use a custom, which can be shared among multiple legal entities, or let us assume you have for one of your legal entity you have got certain set of customers or certain set of vendors. So or like for one legal entity you have got only 2 branches, and for one more legal entity you have got 3 more branches. So like that, depending on the requirement, if you want to create a specific a specific financial dimension, you have that option to create. I'll show you how does it looks. If you click on the new financial dimension, so this is how you have to create the new financial dimension, right? The moment you have this option, use values from. See, if you see here, agreements, bank accounts, business units, campaigns, all these financial dimensions, right? These are already existing in your trial version. Or in case if you have got like, see, these are global financial dimensions which are available in your trial version. to any user, to the D365. If you want to use any of this, you have that option to use this. Or else, let us assume that uh, your if you want to create a specific financial dimensions with a different name which is not under the list, so you will just click on the custom dimension. Let's say demo branch. Okay, so if you want to rename this as instead of using the under the list, and for this particular your legal entity, if you want to create a specific dimension branch, let's say so let me try to create here itself. So let me, so I don't want to use any of the financial dimension from this list. I want to create a separate so you can give dimension name as a description of the financial. Under administration, if you see here, this is called as a dimension value mask. If you remember, I have explained while creating the main accounts, you can give the number format, right? Like alphanumeric or numbers or only numbers. So here in Dynamics, hash represents digits and represents alphabets, and hyphen represents constant value. So under this dimension value mask, let us assume you want to give a format as a BRT hyphen and hash. So while creating the dimension value, right, under see after once you save this financial dimension, you are going to give the list of the products, right? So the value of each and every product, the name of the each and every product, the format will start from BRT hyphen. This will be common, and will represent the alphabets or letters, right? And the hash represents the numbers. Let me just save it. Okay, here we should not give space between the Britannia products. Let here. Okay. So after creating this Britannia products, right, you have to click on activate to activate this financial dimension. Unless you don't click on this activate, whatever the in case if you post any transaction, those transactions will not get posted. This financial dimension, it will not show them. It will under the general journals. So I'll explain you this run in the background and what is the meaning of this each and every field. How does it looks everything later. For the timing, I'll not select this as a batch processing. I'll just select it as a activate here. And the moment you click on the activate, it will process here itself. And for the trial version which you are using into online version, right, you will not be able to create the financial dimensions. It will throw an error saying that LCS environment should be under maintenance mode or anything. But the trial version which I'm using, that I have installed in my system, so here it will allow me to activate the financial dimensions. It will take some time. So till that time, let me try to show you how does the financial dimension mask or any other fields which are available. Okay, I'll try to explain in the web version. Okay. So after okay, let me just open the existing one, business unit. Yeah. Let me just select the business unit. Creating again under business unit. Let us assume that you have got 10 business units that you are wanted to give. So just click on the dimension values. So under dimension value, just click on edit. Just for the timing, we just forget where these existing values are not available. I'll try to create a new one here. I think it is not allowing us to create the new one. Okay, no issues. If it is not allowing, not a problem. I'll just after creating, this is how this new option is there, right? This will be enabled once you click on the new financial dimension which you have created. Once you click on the new, here the dimension value you can give. I have told you we have given the format, right? uh, BRT hyphen and symbol and hash symbol. So while creating the dimension value, if you give it as a 001, it won't allow you to create the dimension value. Here you have to give BRT this format. BRT hyphen A1. Since you have given this as a common, this hyphen represents a constant, right? So whatever the values that you have given before hyphen, those will be as a mandatory and constant values. And after that, you have given A as a alphabet. So it will allow your end users to create financial dimensions only in this format, like BRT hyphen A1, BRT hyphen A2, like this. If you try to give add more values, one more number here, still it will throw an error saying that you are not allowed to add create this financial dimension. It is exceeding the characters that you have given in the financial dimension mask. Yeah. And description, yes, you can give the name of the financial dimension value and activate active from and active to. The same rule applies which you have given in the main accounts while creating. If you want to use this financial dimension only for certain period of time, let's say for 10 days or 15 days. Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. So this active from and active to, if you give that certain dates, let's say for 10 days or 15 days, only those particular period the financial dimension will be active. And for the once you try to post any transaction, like after the date which to, it won't allow any use. It's like a suspension. See, it says that enter or select the date value is no longer active. If the date fills a blank, the financial demands will remain active. That means unless if you just leave it as a blank, throughout financial year, end users will be able to post any transaction. That means while journal entry, right? If you remember the general journal, this financial dimension value will be visible to the end users to select. Let's assume that you have given certain date here, January 30. So from February 1st, if any of your end user transaction, this value it will not be shown under the general journals. But except 001, all the values, the rest of the values, it will be shown. And the suspended option, if you give it as an yes, if you enable this suspended option as yes, then it will be permanently closed for all the legal entities. If you have given this as a specific legal entity, for that particular I mean, you have created this as a legal entity backed for that legal entity, it will be suspended. If it is shared, then for all the legal entities, it will be suspended. No longer the users will be able to pose the transactions here. And this group dimension. So group dimension is nothing but if you remember while post consolidated entries, right? For example, uh, you have got 2 3 subsidiary companies under Britannia. So you have to prepare one consolidated report in the to consolidate the balances from all the 3 subsidiary companies in one separate consolidated company for stakeholders purpose or for any management reporting purpose. So at that time, let us assume you have created a separate consolidated company. I'll just explain you. Consolidated company is Britannia. Say so you have got 3 subsidiary companies A, B, C. And consolidated company you have created as a Britannia. So the financial dimension, what we have created, the financial dimension value we have created, right? Let, let us assume the balance under this particular value. Let's say some $10,000 balance is there, the transaction balance for the period, and you want this balance to be transferred to the consolidated company's financial dimension, because while creating a legal entity for the consolidated company, right, you will be creating the financial dimension values for this one also, for this legal entity specific. Let us say you have created financial dimension value, financial dimension as a uh, FD value, say 001, which is home, right? So under consolidated company also, you have created financial dimensions as a business unit under the financial dimension value 0001 as a home. So while doing this consolidation process, right, if you want the balances of this 001 to be transferred to 0001, which is a consolidated company, then you can do that as a year. Since we have not created the consolidated company, this way it is not showing here. But while doing that process, consolidation process, right, you will understand. So the balances will be transferred to the group dimension here and calculate total from multiple dimension values. This we haven't used, and do not allow manual entry. Even this is also a kind of a control. Uh, for example, if you want this specific financial dimension value should not be allowed to post transaction from any of your users. So then you can enable this as an yes. So while if any end user try to post any journal entry, this 001 will not be allowed for them. Like it will not show as an option itself to select the journal entry. Let us assume, for example, you have got certain for a specific group, like you have given access to specific users who wants to post, or else while certain while doing any payments, right, by default those vendor and the payment will be done. So there is no requirement for you to select specific vendor. So at that time also you can give this as a do not allow manual entry, or else if you want to restrict in for a certain point of time to so that transactions will not be allowed, you can give it. Or else after, if you want to remove this restriction after a certain period of time, you can just disable this one. Then as usual, the any of users will be able to post the transactions. And the yes, even this is also kind of control itself, same like a manual entry I told you, right? You have got list of users. Let us say you have got some 10 users, and if you want to list only this Zodi Christiansen, if you want only this person to be used this financial dimension while posting the entry, if you select this and this user, only this guy can can post a transaction. The rest of them, it will not allow them to post any transactions. So let me just remove this one. And this one, yeah, we haven't used this one. And the legal entity overrides. This is also specific. Let us assume you have created this this financial dimension as a shade for all your five legal entities. And among those five legal entities, if you give this as a suspended for all the five legal entities, this financial dimension value will be restricted. It will be suspended. But you don't want that one. You want to restrict to specific legal entity. Here they have already given GLMF. Let me try to give for this one. Now for GLMF and CNMF, this financial dimension value will be restricted, and you can just click on suspended. Yeah. So now only for these two specific legal entities it will be restricted. But if you see here, there are still a lot of legal entities are available. But for the rest of the legal entities, or the end users from these rest of the legal entities, they will be able to use this business unit while posting the journal entry. So this is how you can restrict, or you can have a control on your financial dimension values. And like this, you can create, for example, let us assume, like you have got your vendor is dealing with any e-commerce business like Myntra, Flipkart, or Amazon, they will be having n number of warehouses, right? Uh, so they can create each and every like they can create n number of warehouse branches, or again in each and every warehouse there will be different storage what you will call storage products or storage devices or anything you can say. Let us say certain any one box or any racks or shelves if they have, so they can create warehouse dimensions. We'll call it as a storage dimensions here. Like if they have got any bins, carton boxes, like they can just create a financial dimension as a storage dimensions. And again under storage dimensions, like dimension values can be created as a racks, shelves, boxes, like this. So while picking the product, let us say they have picked one product from one carton box. So in order to identify from which carton box or this product has been picked, while posting the entry, right, the end user, he will be entering from this carton box, from this financial dimension value this product has been picked, while paying to the vendor or while paying to the customer and while posting the journal entry. Then it will be easy for him to pull the report related to particular financial dimension value. Also, in accounts payable, if you remember, we will be having n number of vendors, right? So all those vendors will be calling here by default, even though you need not to create a financial dimension value, but while creating the vendors, all those vendors will be shown as a financial dimension value. I'll just show you how does it looks here. Just go to the financial dimensions. Let's see if it is showing or not. I think for vendors it is not showing. Well, let's see for customers. I think for customer it is active. So let me go to the dimension values. If you see here, there are a lot of customers, right? These are not created under financial dimension by using the same this navigation.
We
They haven't
cannot see
created
your
as a
screen.
customers.
We cannot see your screen. Ma'am, it's stuck on the home page. Ma'am, it's stuck.
Okay. Okay. Now can you see my screen?
Yes.
So I was just explaining. Let us assume that you have got a certain list of customers which your accounts receivable team has created. But even those customers also will call it as a financial dimension values only, right? Because again, let us assume for business it may be customers. Like there is a separate department as a customers. But for reporting purpose, you can consider customers as a financial dimension value, and customer names or each and every customer name will be called as a financial dimension value. But it is not necessary for you to create all those such customers or vendors in the accounts payable team to create under the financial dimensions. No, it is not required for you to do that. For example, under accounts receivable team, under this module, just go to all customers. Yeah. Here we have got the list of customers, right? We will try to create a one new customer and we'll see if it is showing under the financial dimension or not. Let me check for the timing as a wholesale group and click on save. So the rest of the fields will discuss later. How does it? What is the importance of each and every field? We have created DE hyphen 002, right? Let me go to the dimension values of the customer. Yeah. So we have created this customer as a demo customer, right? So by default, this will be shown under the financial dimension values. If you see observe the difference, I haven't created this customer under the financial dimension. I have created this customer under the accounts receivable module. But how come these are showing under the financial dimension value means? So in general, the D365 will convert any such like values or any segments. Let us say while let us for vendors, under vendors there will be a number of vendors, right? So it will assume that vendor is a financial dimension. Again, under vendors, multiple vendors will be called as a financial dimension values. The system by default it will consider it as a financial which is under financial dimension, which is under financial dimension values. And the same logic applies to legal entities as well. For example, while posting, let us assume you have got 5 legal entities and one parent company, right? If you are doing any transactions in the parent company, uh, and you want to select 2 3 legal entities while posting journal entry, then those legal entities will become financial dimension values. Those topics you will understand while doing the intercompany transactions. But now you understood it. How does it looks? The financial dimension values and what is the financial dimensions. So you should understand what is the difference and how does it helps while creating the journal entry. Then only it will be easy for you to uh, link, like to understand or to connect the dots while posting the journal entries. So any other doubts do you have right now? I have explained about the dimension value mask also. This is just like a number format. So you can just give whatever the format you want. Either you can give double hash one alphabet or and symbol or anything as such as per your requirement. So I'll stop recording the call.